Hi, I'm Marie Westbrook from Silver Turtle Designs. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to make the fold form feather earrings using Kevin Potter's Pancake dies. First thing you need to do is to fold this in half. And I use the edge of the table to start my crease. And then you can work it with your fingers because most of your copper is dead soft when you buy it. Okay, so you're going to get something that looks like this. Now we want that smaller, we want that tighter. So I'm going to use my rubber mallet so that it doesn't mar the copper any more than it's going to just by working it. Okay, now that's about how it's going to get when you flatten it down completely. So the next thing we want to do is put this in a vise so that we can texture the ends. The vise that you want to use needs to be flat. Okay. And then I tell you, this hammer has got a dull side, one that's more rounded, and then it has a sharper edge. I use the sharp edge. Okay, now move it down. And you'll notice I didn't make as many on this end because I'm going to overlap. Since we have textured the top, that has caused the copper to become work hardened. And if you tried to open it now, it could split. So the best thing we need to do is to anneal it. Okay, now that we've annealed and dried our copper, we need to open it up. Now, I use this little bench knife. You can use a butter knife or a pocket knife. Just be careful, don't cut yourself. You want to just slowly open the entire sheet up. Now see, there is water inside from our quenching. A lot of it, since we annealed it, it's fairly flexible and we can open it and dry out this water. And flatten it out as much as you can. You can see you've got your ridge there. Okay, I take my hammer and I flatten it out a little bit more. We want this as flat as we can get it. Okay, I use my urethane mat to flatten it out. This way I won't damage my texturing. If I did it on the anvil, it would flatten it out. Okay, I'm going to texture this a feather pattern with, again, the same hammer that I textured the rib with the sharp side first. And we're going to do at an angle on this side, and then we're going to turn it around and do the same angle. That way you've got like a chevron. What you can do too is to add some whiter texturing on it, turn the hammer over and use the blunter end. Now this side has curled up, so I'm going to try to flatten it out a little bit more. Now we want the texturing to go from the center this way so that it looks like the feather. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this in half. We have 2 pieces, and I purchased 2 of Potter USA's feather pancake dies. One for the left side and one for the right side. I purchased 2 because by continually pushing these back and forth, you weaken it here, and eventually it will break. But by buying 2, I don't have to worry about that. Okay, my first piece, you want your texture in your window. You want your texturing to follow the design of the feather. So you make sure your chevrons are down. It's a little bit difficult because of this ridge that we have in there. Put your ridge so that it's pretty much centered with the tail of your feather. Okay, we have our front with our texturing showing through the window. This is what the back looks like. I always try and center this right over the crease. Center it in the hydraulic press. Now, one thing with this, cutting these out, you don't want to put a whole lot of pressure, just enough to cut it. Because if you put too much pressure, it will flatten out your texturing on the ridge. So we do just until it pops through. And lower it. Okay, see this is your, now you check to make sure that it came all the way through. Okay, now we're going to push this out with our fingers. If it doesn't go, put the edge of the pancake die on the end of the table, your hand underneath to catch it, and just hit it in the center of the design, and it will come out. 2 earrings, 2 leaves cut, or feathers cut out. Now we need to cut our tabs off and get rid of the burrs that were created on the back, especially where these little indentations are. You know, just as simple to cut a straight line from one. You're just following the shape of the feather. Now we want to go on the back and snip off these burrs. Be sure and wear your safety glasses when you're doing this, because this metal will fly. Let's see, there's a little bit here. And there's a little bit on this edge. Now, I use this file from Potter USA to get the high ridges off and the sharp areas off the back. And then you can go around the sides just to smooth them up a little bit. Okay, now some of this could use a little more texturing. So I'm going to just very carefully add some more texturing on them. Okay. The next step is we're going to wrap the ends with 18 gauge round copper wire and make a loop to hold our ear wire so that it will look something like this. Okay, what we're going to do is first is punch a hole using our hole punchers, and this is the smallest one from Swanson. Okay, you want to make sure that it's on the spine and that it's right where the stem starts. Okay, we're going to start with about 6 inches of 18 gauge copper wire, and this is dead soft. Take your flat nose pliers and bend up about 1/2 inch and make like a hook. Take that hook and put it through the hole in the front to the back of your feather and kind of pinch it a little tight there so that it doesn't move around. And then move this out of the way a little bit so that you can grab hold of the stem and that back piece of wire, and with your fingers start wrapping the, you gotta keep hold of that. I'm going to go to these because they have a smaller profile. They'll hold it better. Start wrapping your wire around as tight and as close as you can to each other, to the coils. And you'll get to a point where this doesn't move anymore. You just need to work the wire so that it stays together. So now you've got a piece sticking up from your back, and we're going to clip that off. Now you take your round nose pliers and wrap it around to make your loop. And then I'm going to cut this tail off. Cut it so that it's kind of at a little bit of a point. So you have this, and you're just going to work that between these coils. Yeah, I have dropped these in a pickle pot to get some of the oxidation off. And now I'm going to use these sanding blocks that I got from Potter USA. I'm going to use the blue one that's a little soft, and I'm just going to go and kind of varnish it a little bit, the front and the back. Now you can see the texturing from the feather. Now I'm gonna put this in a tumbler. Okay, we've taken these out of the tumbler. They've been tumbling for about 30 minutes. Okay, and we've taken the earrings out of the oxidizer. They're a nice, pretty blue-black. Now we're gonna brush these with the extra fine sponge just to get the highlights, to bring that copper through. Now what I'm going to do is I want to give this a little depth. So I'm going to take my nylon pliers and just kind of tweak it, you know, bend it up here and there. This is the finished product. They have been sealed in Renaissance wax. The ear wires are put on. Thank you for watching my video. My name is Marie Westbrook with Silver Turtles Designs.